Falcons on the road at the Saints. This is out to 3.5. Could be on our way to 4. Juice 3.5s at some of the books out there. 46.5 is the prevailing total. We know what we kind of get in this Saints team. Chris Olave not going to be out there. Very scary injury for him. We have Alvin Kamara, who's basically just been the only dude that's been able to produce anything for the Saints offense. And Derek Carr at least will be back for the second game after having to miss several games due to an oblique injury on the Falcons side of things. We've seen some DNPs. We've seen some weird stuff going on with them as well. I looked into it, Mo, to see if I could get any further insight. It seems like the beat reporters think that it's going to be okay, that everyone's going to be fine. Like we shouldn't be worried about Kyle Pitts and all these guys and stuff. But again, that's us and Drake London and whatnot. But these are things that we'll figure out with the Friday injury report. But as we sit right now, what we know, 3.5, what do you think?
Yeah, the Drake London thing, it sounds like a pain management thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping he goes, since I just dealt Kamara for him in one of my leagues. But man, I took the ultra gross Saints here, 3.5. Just big number kind of for a divisional home team. I know the Falcons are kind of rolling right now, but I wasn't super impressed with their basically I thought they were going to truck the Cowboys defense on the ground harder. So the fact that they didn't, and then you do have some injuries in the pass catching crew, and you have a Saints team that we should see a dead cat bounce from the coaching change. I mean, you can't be any worse basically than Dennis Allen. It's pretty well documented how he's like 35% against the spread or whatever, just like all-time worst type of numbers. So I think the change has to maybe be a positive there, and a Falcons defense that is beatable. I know Olave's out. Taysom being back is actually kind of big. He helps them quite a bit, especially when you have these types of injuries to the receiving core. So I think, and it, honestly, just rule of just bet the team that played the worst last week. I don't think you can do any worse than losing to the Carolina Panthers. So especially when you look at the way that game played out statistically, I mean, they just kept settling for field goals after long drives. They let the Panthers basically have all the success possible in their own red zone trips. So it was just basically a red zone type of game. I think I saw some stats that it was like 275-0 going into that game, when a team like won the turnover battle, won all these other stats, and they were the first team to lose in several hundred games. So I mean, probably okay to just buy a little bit low on the Saints, and I took the gross 3.5. There was some 4s earlier in the week, but yeah, I kind of think this should be 3.
So this opened at 3. I did put in on the Falcons mainly because of the secondary injuries that we have with the Saints. And now that they trade away Lattimore, Kool-Aid McKinstry doesn't look like he's going to play yet again. And so we're not only getting second-string corners, but we're probably getting like third-string corners and stuff at this point. And I just wonder what the breaking point is for the defense just not to be able to stop anybody doing anything. I'm willing to be kind of proven wrong here. I wouldn't play it at 3.5. So on the other side of 3, I think your side is good. But for me, I do have a little bit of apprehension as to where the Saints end up stopping teams basically moving forward. It's going to be rough. So that's my take here. I'm not incredibly impressed by this Falcons team, though. Unfortunate, because I have an incredible amount of money invested in them in this season. But they might end up winning the division anyway, and so that'll cash. But don't love that team for sure.